Hey, everybody, and welcome in. It's the Poor Man Fantasy Football League podcast. We're the fantasy football show that gives you a peek inside the life and times of our Dynasty League. I'm Mike. This is my friend Andrew. And this week, we're going to continue our little 4-part mini-series doing the takeover of another team from another league. And this week, we're going to do Poor Man, our home league, the very league that this podcast is about. It is Wednesday night, June 19th, my little sister's birthday, and Juneteenth in the U.S. Andrew, how you doing?
Good. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm tired. I've had a busy work week. Summer vacation's coming, so I'm trying to wrap up a bunch of the little tiny jobs before I got to tackle a couple big jobs when I get back from vacation, because I don't want to stare at all the little tiny burning fires that'll blow up into giant bonfires while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm off pretty much the same time as you. Now that I'm thinking
Nice.
about it, because I'm off
Yeah.
from like the 28th
Of June, Friday. Yep.
Yep. I took off the Friday because our Canada Day long weekend.
Also, that weekend, the Monday's a holiday.
Yeah, Monday's the holiday. So I'm off Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Then I work Wednesday.
Okay.
And then I'm off Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday.
You just go back for a Wednesday? He's like,
Yeah.
hey, everybody, I still work here.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
What fires do I have to put out? Because I've been gone for 5 days.
Yeah.
And
Well, let's see what things they've added to your warehouse.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a ceiling in the front entrance.
Oh, you think they'll come back and actually put the drop tiles in?
Well, the owner was coming in today, and he was redoing the lighting. And then they were doing he was going to pardon me. And then he was going to get the guys to come in and do the drop tile ceiling. So,
okay,
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, indeed, man. Yeah, I'm off pretty much that same time, except I have that Wednesday off. Yeah, we're going to British Columbia, heading down to the Okanagan Valley for 2 weeks. Going to get some sun. Hopefully, no forest fires. That should be a good time.
Yeah, we'll do our annual trip to the cabin on Canada Day, and then that following week is when we do we've got a group of friends that we go out to Wabamun every year.
Yeah.
For a weekend. We're going from the Thursday. We're extending it an extra day. We'll go the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to take the kids to the beach and the lake a little bit, or on the Friday where it's a little bit quieter instead of a crazy Saturday, Sunday type thing.
Where it's always busy.
Yeah. Well, usually, and if it's warm, like there's a lineup of cars waiting to even get into the parking lot.
Really?
It's crazy like that. Yeah.
Oh.
Because Wabamun is only like 45 minutes from the city, right? So
it's very close.
It's convenient for people to go to. So especially if it's hot and I don't know. Have you guys ever been out there?
Yes, we've been to a couple different points on Lake Wabamun.
Oh, but have you gone to like the public beaching and stuff? Yeah, like the waters. Yeah, and the kids can go out to 50 yards out and it's still only waist deep. It doesn't drop off real quick, so it's good and safe for the kids to go and play and have a good time. So. Okay. And I'll just sit on the shore drinking.
That's usually what I do. Yeah. Now that we have a paddleboard, I occasionally get out in the water and go paddleboarding with the kids. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to talk some football news with you.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence became one of the highest paid quarterbacks, getting a 5-year extension worth $275 million, $200 million guaranteed, averaging $55 million a year. And as a result, it is being reported today that the league and the NFLPA are looking into segmenting out quarterback contracts from the cap. That they will have their own. They will have their own cap standard. And you might recall when who was it? Cam Newton The year Cam Newton was drafted first overall, that was the year they put a cap on rookie contracts where they had a standardized rookie agreement because of the size of contracts that were being signed leading up to that. So instead of getting paid the $65-75 million contract, there's now, hey, if you're the first overall, this is what you get paid. If you're the second, this is what you get paid. It's like it's predetermined, so it's easier for teams to manage. There's no negotiation. It's just this is what you get for being in this position. It sounds like what's being discussed, and I don't know how far that's going to go, but it is being reported that discussions are taking place to put in a tiered based, hey, this is what contracts will look like for quarterbacks.
Well, I think from my perspective, they got to get a grip on salaries, period, because they're going to start getting so crazy that the average fan can't afford to go to the games anymore because ticket prices are going to be way too expensive. You have to be CEO of a major corporation to be able to go, and that's too bad for for Joe Public, who basically built the league on their viewership and season tickets and so on and so forth. It's too bad that the salaries are getting so far out of whack that they have to implement something like this.
Well, it sounds like, and I am looking up the article now, so bear with me.
Sure.
And of course I can't find it.
But did they talk about just quarterbacks, or are they talking about?
It'd be just quarterbacks. No, it was just quarterbacks, saying because of the size of the quarterback contracts that it's becoming cost prohibitive for them to keep going, right? Like they can see, like, hey, look, we're okay now, but this is just going to continue to escalate. All right. Well, I can't find it at the moment. Anyways,
and but the league has done such I want to say a great job of protecting the quarterbacks. So now their longevity is a lot longer, right? Like back in the Dan Marino era, where there weren't as many safety rules in place.
Yeah.
The average quarterback had to retire at about 30, 31, 32. Now guys are going, like, you look at Brady,
Aaron Rodgers. You got Matt Stafford. You got guys
Phillip
that are going
Rivers.
into the late. Yeah. Matt Ryan.
Those guys are going into their 40s. And it's because those rules are in place that it's protecting their body, which, sure, that's the guy that's winning you Super Bowls. But these guys are going in and saying, I want 5-year, 10-year, 20-year deals for an absorbent amount of money. So you're right. They have to figure out a way to almost curb it, or it will still continue to skyrocket and go crazy. Like, I almost wonder if they could do something like, okay, if you sign a 1 to 3 year deal, you can get this much money, and maybe it's more per year. Maybe you can get 15 million per year. Your 1 to 5 year, maybe you can get a little bit less per year, more overall, but less per year. Up to 10 years, even less per year. Up to 20 years, even less per year, type thing. Maybe it's a sliding scale.
About, it reminds me of mortgages. Hey, you want a 1-year mortgage? You want a 3-year? You want a 5-year? You want a 10-year mortgage? The longer you take your mortgage for, the lower the interest rate is.
Yeah. Yeah, the less it's going to cost the team per year. But
you have to take less.
But overall, you're going to get more, right?
Right.
Your interest is less, but you're going to get, in the long run, you're going to make more money because you signed a 25 year.
It's not $55 million a year. If you want $55 million a year, we'll sign a 1-year deal. Otherwise, we'll give you $40 million a year, but it'll be a 5-year deal. Okay.
And you make your $200 million instead of the 55, right?
Right.
Give us that total number. Give me that total number. I want to make $1 billion in the 10 years. Okay, you're getting $100 million a year. Not a whole bunch in, $200 million in the first 3 years, and that's chewing up 60% of that $100 million or that $1 billion contract, right? Even it out throughout the whole thing, not front end loaded or back end loaded, right?
I also think we need to reduce the amount of guarantees and make things a lot more incentive based.
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see more incentive.
Perform. Because
think of Deshaun Watson and the giant deal he signed, and haven't delivered on anything.
Yep.
Yeah, you haven't delivered on anything. So why are we paying you this? There should be some kind of performance, not just like, hey, look, I'm putting my body on the line. Yeah, you did, and now you're not playing football, and we've got nothing for it. You're not adding value to our team.
Russell Wilson is the prime example. They went out and drafted a kid to play in front of him.
Oh, they traded him away. They're paying for what, $39 million of his contract to go play for another team.
Yeah, but even, pardon me, even in Pittsburgh, right? He's not going to be the starter.
Sure he is.
He's going to be He's going to be the backup.
Nope.
Come on.
Nope. I'll bet. Let's bet. Play to wings, buddy. We're going to go for wing night, and you're buying.
By the end of the year, he is not the starter.
Okay. That's a different comment. That's a different That's a different comment. You said he's not the starter. He is the starter.
Well,
Justin Fields will be the backup, and Russell Wilson will be the starter. Sure.
Russell
I'm not saying he's going to last the whole season. But he will start.
He's got to sling the rock like he's never before, and he's got to put up 50 points a game to save his bacon, because this is the end of it. But still, you look at Pittsburgh. They went out and they got themselves a rookie that they can throw in when he doesn't perform.
You mean a third-year veteran in Justin Fields?
Sorry, yes. No, I'm thinking Chicago there all of a sudden. But you're right. But I still think Fields is going to take the job from him.
I think inevitably, yes, Fields will take the job from him. I think Fields will suck more than Wilson. And I think he'll regret the decision. I think he will. I think he's great at running the ball. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I don't think he has what it takes to be an NFL level starting quarterback. I think he is exactly where he's supposed to be as a backup, dynamic Taysom Hill type play. We're gonna do some special moves with you,
plays,
some trick plays, But I don't think he is a full blown reliable starter.
Yeah, but I don't think Russell Wilson is anymore either.
True,
he was, but not anymore.
Yeah. It's just crappy football, but we'll see what Detroit does with it. We'll see what Pittsburgh does with it.
Yeah, but you brought up a really good point about we're paying you all this money, and now you're not performing. There should be something built in, and this is where you said the incentive based stuff. If you want all this money, you better perform, or we get some of our money back. How about that kind of a contract? Well, I will pay you your $50 million a year, but if you don't get us the division, I'm holding back $10 million of that.
See, but then it's not a guaranteed contract.
No, but that's why you say don't guarantee everything. Yeah.
From what I understand, there's 3 things you can guarantee in a contract. You can guarantee I get paid for playing, I get paid for injuries, and I get paid for, I don't know, I forget what the other one is, but there's things that you can say. So when they say fully guaranteed, it means all conditions have been removed. You get paid regardless. You decide to go, you know what? I'm going to fill the water bottles this week, guys. You can't expect me to throw the football or run the football or do anything. Yeah. I just get paid regardless. There's nothing you can do about it. And to me, that's a high risk maneuver that teams and managers are being forced into by these players. And there should be recourse. And I think there is, to a point where, hey, look, you did some off-field shenanigans. You got a DUI. You got caught speeding. You beat your girlfriend. You were being cruel to animals. And that now, hey, look, we can now justifiably void your contract and we owe you nothing. I think there should be some more caveats in there saying, hey, we're paying you this contract. You hit these measurements, this is what you get paid. If you don't, we then have the option to void portions of your contract and decrease them.
And I think it's at all positions. Like you look at a Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Dude, you made our team look bad. Now I'm cutting your salary in half. Maybe that'll smarten you up and stop beating up on media people and speeding and doing stupid stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there you go.
It's some of the guys, like the lesser known players, like some of the linemen or D linemen, getting caught carrying drugs across the borders and stuff like smarten up. We're going to cut your salary in half if you make us look bad. Like I don't think these guys are getting slapped. They're getting a slap on the wrist. Oh, you'll miss a game or two. Well, no, how about we financially hit you bigger, and then maybe you'll smarten up. Because all these players, that's all they're talking about is, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. Okay,
well, what are you doing to earn more money?
Yeah. Again, don't make us look bad. An injury to me is something else. Let me rephrase
injury
that.
Through football.
Yes. Don't be outside quadding in the backwoods of Alabama, fall off and break your shoulder, and you miss half the season. No, that's your own fault.
Yeah, then you don't get paid. It's just like real people. Paid.
Yes, exactly. But if you get hurt at work on the job,
yeah,
then you have your insurance to cover you, or the team still pays you, or what have you, because hey, you were out busting your butt for the team, and you got hurt doing it, and because
whether you're at practice, sport. Whether you're at practice, flying on the plane to the game, or you're on the field during the game. Anytime that an injury occurs, it's like, hey, look, we're on the hook for you. Workers' compensation, however that plays out. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but again, you make us look bad, or you have to go to jail, or what have you. No, we're going to take some of that away from you, and then maybe you will listen, or maybe you'll start thinking about your choices.
All right. So, well, talk about changing some choices. You and I are going to take over some teams here in the Poor Man Fantasy Football League. I've got Slick's team. You've got Josh, a.k.a. the Multi-Beast. And we are going to do a quick little analysis on where they currently are. And if that was our team, what would we do? Where do we think our strengths are, our weaknesses? Talk about their playoff window, and maybe come up with some ideas that we would try to enact to make this team
better. Sure.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go first. So I've got our friend Ryan, a.k.a. Slickburn. Ryan, I didn't realize this, but for the last several years, Ryan has been a perennial playoff team. He has struggled in the playoffs, but he has had a great year leading up to and has consistently made the playoffs without making it to the championship.
He usually hits the hottest guy round 1 or round 2.
Yes. I looking back at what's happened to him, I feel bad looking at the history and how close he's been. But here's his team. Quarterbacks: Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Derek Carr. Not great, not terrible, good. I think between Jordan Love and Brock Purdy, you've got a starter there, but not a game-changing quarterback. Running backs: he's got Kyron Williams, Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, and Raheem Mostert. I think there's some lightning in a bottle here. Kyron Williams is set up to have a top 5 season this year. Etienne I think is going to be at least a top 10. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, because he's got both, he should be able to swap back and forth as game script provides. And then old man Raheem Mostert, which I think is a spot start as needed, right? I think he's still going to get some action down there in Miami. But there's some good things here that are young to work with, right? There's youth. I like it.
Yep.
Wide receivers, and this is where things get really sexy. He's got CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave, Old Man Keenan Allen, Rashee Rice, Jaden Reed, Darnell Mooney, Terry McLaurin, Rashid Shaheed, and Lad McConkey, who has been getting some absolute love this rookie season, or I guess mini camp. So this is a really, really nice young wide receiver room.
Yep.
And to me, Keenan Allen is the only odd man out because he's older, but he's not dead. He's not wasted. I think there's still a chance for him to be relevant this year in Chicago. And then we go to tight end, which I think is his weakest part of his roster because Dallas Goedert is the headline and nobody else shines. So I'm like, okay, well, Dallas Goedert's not terrible. He's not going to truly hurt you week to week, but he's not going to blow up and win you anything. So I like the base foundation where this is going, and knowing that he has been a playoff team for the last several years. My thoughts are keep building off this youthful success, sell off the older wide receivers to keep getting younger and to add more picks. But to me, think that I wouldn't go out and start selling right away. I would wait until my season is going along and I'm getting close to the trade deadline, because that is going to dictate, hey, do I use my capital to try and get some additional assets that are hitting right now to help me make my push? I think he makes the playoffs again this year. I think he's going to be a real contender. And my final thoughts here is he's been a consistent playoff contender for years, and he is set to remain a contender for the next several more years based upon his youth. Getting an upgrade at QB or tight end could really help, but isn't a high priority. If he can make it happen, I think it'd be great for him. Probably for the rest of us. But I think he's in a really good spot. I like where this is at.
No, and the reason I'm smiling is I have Multi-Beast, who has been on the bubble the last few years and seems to be the odd man out. Like he gets pushed out by you, me, Juan, Slick,
Donnie pushed him out.
Yeah, like he's right there. He's right there because as you were talking, you could have said every single thing that you said was about the Multi-Beast as well. His quarterback room: Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Smith. The youth he's got is Drake May. So he's got an aging quarterback room, but he's got starters. Like Aaron Rodgers could be, if the Jets go off this year, Aaron Rodgers could be a top 5 wide receiver quarterback. Kirk Cousins could have a breakout year with his new team because he's got lots of young weapons. Wilson, we just talked about Wilson and how much we think he's going to do, but
yeah,
maybe he proves us wrong because getting into a new environment is what he needed. So his quarterback room getting a little bit long in the tooth with these guys. They're all getting older, and only having May as a young guy. We'll need to start recruiting or trading for a QB soon. His running back room, I like what he has. He's got Swift and then the handcuff with Herbert. He's got Robinson and the handcuff with Eckler. So he's listened to you and gone after your mantra of get the handcuff in case the starter goes down. And those are good, decent handcuffs to have if the starter does go down. He's got quite a few number 2s. I think he has what's he got here? I just wrote it down. He's got 14 running backs on his lineup right now. He's got a bunch of backups or number 2 running backs that if their starter does go down, could flip in. There's a nice mix of both experienced and youth in the running back room. His wide receiver room is decent. I like Drake London, Zay Flowers, Johan Dotson, Josh Downs. He's got some decent wide receivers, and also has some decent number twos on teams that the number twos could have good solid years. He's got Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Tyler Lockett. All those guys could have really decent years. The only two dislikes in his wide receiver room are OBJ and Moore. And I think just for me, with Moore, it's just he's being slotted in at the number 3 spot on a team that I don't think is going to be a fit for him. And then you've got his Achilles heel in the tight end room. He's got Njoku, really is his only tight end.
No. Dalton Kincaid. You don't like Dalton Kincaid?
I'm not sold on him yet.
Okay.
I'm not sold on him yet. I know he was I think he was number 12 tight end overall last year. He had a decent year. I'm not sold on him yet. I'm not sold on him.
Okay. All right.
And again, the team, I don't know if it's the right fit. But then he's also got I don't even know this Sanders. It's a rookie.
This is a rookie. Jatavian Sanders, Carolina. Yeah. It's a shot in the dark.
Yeah. So I think if all his cards are on Njoku, that might be a little bit tough too, right? So it's very similar to what you were saying. The quarterback room and the tight end room are the ones that kind of need a little bit of work. When I look at everything, it's a good mix of youth and some older players, but we'll need to make some moves or sell off something if he wants to make that big run. Like you had suggested with Slick, see how your season starts. If you're right in the middle of the mix and giving away your number 2 pick or giving away your number 1 pick might push you over the bubble to get you into the playoffs, that means what you'll need to do if that's what you want to do this year. Mm-hmm. But it's an option for you. But for an overall long-term profile, really need to get out and look at the quarterbacks and the tight ends. You can't wait too long, or your wide receiver and your running back room is going to start to get too old as well. So,
yeah,
I think
now that you've identified it, I think he's in a great position with some veteran players that he could sell off.
Yes,
to get younger if he needs to. But knowing what I've seen from Josh in years past, he always wavers. Right? I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. I think this is the year he has to commit and say, you know what? I am all in on this year, or I am all out.
I need to focus on next year. Yeah.
Yes. Like I'm going to sell, and I'm just going to develop. I'm just going to ride out the season, sell what I can, get ready for next year. Or I'm going to go all in, buy what I can, and make my push.
And I think if he's looking for next year, don't necessarily just focus on draft picks, because draft picks are a gamble. If you could get a good young wide receiver or a good young quarterback that can help you next year to get you over the hump next year, not necessarily when you say, hey, sell to look for next year, not always just draft picks. Get some
See what
players.
You can get. Yeah. Maybe you get your hand on one of the rookies this year that kind of faltered or got a slow start, and gamble on. Say, hey, look, you know what? I'll take Xavier Legette in Carolina and a second for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're giving up a good solid and a draft pick for somebody who may turn next year have his breakout year.
And in reality, the draft pick should be a later round draft pick, because you would be selling to a team trying to make that playoff push.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So again, like I said, I think the wheel gave us our guys, they give us a similar mix this time. Unlike last time where you had the guy that took over the abandoned team and I had the champion.
The league champion, yeah.
So it was
hey, the wheel giveth
mix.
and the wheel taketh away.
Yeah. And I hope he takes it away from you all season long this year, Mike.
Oh, geez. Don't start with me with that silly wheel. It kicked my butt. All right, well, those are our thoughts taking over these teams.
Yeah.
Which makes this one of the shortest episodes we've done in a long time.
Yeah. But you know what, though? The teams that it gave us, there's not a lot to do with them. I think, and that's the great thing about the Poor Man League. There's so much parity. There's so much parity. There isn't like the haves, and you're not even a have-not. You're below that in some of the, like, I look at it was either no fun, or one of the other ones.
Simple.
Where I went like 1-13. I am not even a have-not. I am a subpar to the have-nots. I'm looking up at them, but
you're making a comeback, man. You're building slow and steady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But
you also had some terrible draft picks that just didn't pan out, and that's the crapshoot of picking of selections.
It is.
You don't know who's going to hit. You have feelings.
Yes. But that's the nice thing about Poor Man is that there's so much parity, and the teams are very evenly matched. Like, you could go against, like, Gabriel last year took a beating, but any one of those weeks, he could have won those. He didn't get consistently blown out for 14 weeks. He was in there every week, and he was fighting and trying to win every week. So
when we look at who was the Poor Man of the week, he had the most, but because he had 4 or 5 appearances on the chart. Donnie had 11 the year before, and Donnie won the league last year.
Exactly. So you can always come back from.
You can Poor Man. You can always real quick.
Yep.
Yeah. That does what make this particular league exciting, fun, and challenging, is that you're in it because everybody is in it, and the only way you're not in it is if you choose not to be, because everyone is that margin for error is so close. You gamble, and you can't say, hey, you know what, this is the week that Jamar Chase is going to go bonkers, and it's like, well, he should go bonkers, but he did. He put up a 5 on for you. You know, he kind of had a dud, and that was the reason why you lost this week.
Yeah,
that's just the way it goes.
And one of the other really cool things about our league is guys are active with the trading, and it's not all the only way I'm going to trade with you is if I fleece you. You know, guys want it to be an equal trade. Yes, you want to come out on top. Yes, you want to get the better player. But it's not like you're going to trade Patrick Mahomes for
JJ McCarthy.
No, not even that. The tight end that was a quarterback in New Orleans. You mentioned him earlier.
Oh, Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. You're not going to, like, no one is going to go or even ask Mahomes for Taysom Hill. Like, that's just not. In some leagues, guys do stupid stuff like that.
They do. They make those offers. Here, we're a bit more savvy.
Yes. Yes. And I think guys will call each other out in our league when they do think it's so unfair that, you know, the trade will go through, but guys will call somebody out for whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? Is this a little collusion that, you know, so that's why, okay, Mike, I'll trade this guy to you for 2 weeks, and then you trade him back to me just so you can climb up a little bit, and then I want him back for the playoffs.
I did that once.
Really?
In a redraft league when I first started playing fantasy football. I remember this. Yeah, Hugo, one of our guys in Texas. Yeah, he traded me Russell Wilson. Oh, frick, I forget for who. He gave me Russell Wilson when Russell Wilson was on a hot streak because I had to play against 2 guys that he needed me to beat. And I wasn't having a great year. And it's like, Mike, I need you to beat these guys. Can I trade you Russell Wilson and you trade me whoever for... And it's like, and then after that, we'll trade back. I was like, yeah, sure, man. Like, I didn't fully understand the implications of my decisions. And because like I wanted to win. I was like, yes, send me Russell Wilson. So I won those 2 weeks. And then after I traded him back, and he's like, thanks. And I was like, you're welcome. Thank you. I got some wins, right? I'm not sitting at the bottom.
He made you feel good about yourself, and you took out his competition so that he gets into the playoffs or back into first or whatever.
Yeah. I now realize that was a collusion-based trade.
I'm surprised you guys didn't get called out on that. But
okay, there wasn't a lot of there was no chat, and because it was between our Edmonton office, our Salt Lake City office, and our Houston office, unless you were in those offices, you didn't have a lot of dialogue. And of the people, because we had 2 leagues that year, we had our league, which is kind of like the minors, and then we had the big boys, the guys who were like really into fantasy football that kicked it all off, and then we wanted to like join, so we got relegated off to a side league. And then the year after, that's when I brought you involved, right? Because I wanted to keep it going, but they didn't want to. A bunch of guys didn't want to play, so that particular league, there wasn't a lot of like dialogue unless you were in those offices. So the people in the offices talk to each other. I, on the other hand, because I was doing all supply chain management, I was flying to those offices month to month. So I was seeing these people and having conversations, so that, having regular conversations really helps when it comes to trades.
Yes.
All right. Okay, folks, that is it for this week's episode. But before we depart, I want to bring up a bit of a schedule. Andrew and I are going to be hitting some vacation time here. So there's nothing going on next week, although we're still around. We could put something together. So stay tuned. We may or may not have an episode released for you next week. The week after would be Wednesday, July 3rd, recording time, released on the 4th. 4th of July. You guys don't want a podcast episode from us on the 4th of July. You guys are going to go enjoy your American holiday, just like we enjoyed our Canada holiday on July 1st. Yep. So we're not doing an episode that week. X day on the episode say.
Yep.
However, if I want to keep with the timeline to get ready for week 1 of the NFL season and our fantasy football season, the divisional breakdowns will start the week of July 10th. So I'm putting it out there right now, ladies and gentlemen, in the Poor Man Fantasy Football League. And I'm going to slide this out there too to the rest of the world that's listening to us. I'm going to give our league mates 7 days. Starting tomorrow, Thursday, when you're listening to this, it will be Thursday.
July 20th.
June 20th.
Or sorry, yes, June 20th.
I was like, whoa, we just time warped. June 20th. So 7 days, so June 27th, next Thursday. We're going to try and fill up these slots. And if we can fill them all up with our league mates, great. That's first priority. If we can't because of scheduling, it's summertime, totally get it. I'm going to start asking you, the fellow listeners, if you'd like to jump in and talk to us about our divisional breakdowns. So stay tuned, check your calendars, and watch the team chats. Because I want to put some stuff out there and see who wants in.
Yes.
That'd be good.
I'm sure we get our consistent. Really enjoy that. I'm sure we'll get our consistent Donnie and Gabriel and Juan and even Marvin if he's available before school starts.
Right. Maybe we might even get Evan and Corey Bittner back. Those guys have been
those guys have been very helpful.
They've been around but busy. I haven't heard from them. Be curious to hear what's going on in their world. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's make it a nice, short, sweet night so we can get back to enjoying our, I don't know, I'm going to say my Scotch on the rocks that I haven't poured yet, but I'm going to when I wait for this thing to process. Yeah. All right. Follow us on social media, TikTok, Twitter, now called X, Facebook, Poor Man Football, all one word. We're there. Find us. Have fun. This is why we do it, right? From one poor man to another. Remember, if it's not fun, it is not worth doing. Good night, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.